All right, hello. Welcome back to another pick a card reading, and thanks for coming by. Today we're going to be looking at what's up next for you on the horizon. I feel that a lot of us are thinking a lot about what's going to be next, and there's a lot of uncertainty. In general, no matter what times we're living through, but in our personal lives and what our goals are and these sorts of things. So this is just going to be a general overview, not really sticking to or looking for a particular timeline. These are really general readings meant for any number of people that watch the video. So yeah, keep that in mind, and probably not 100% of the information is going to resonate to every single person, but take what you get out of it, and I hope this helps. And I think it is a strong intuitive exercise for me in terms of saying what I see and letting that play out, but also for you guys when you get to choose which pile you're drawn to, whichever one your gut says has the answers you need. And so yeah, that way I think it's just a way for us to really sharpen our inner voice and this sort of thing. So today I have 3 readings for what's coming up next for you on the horizon, and they all correspond to these little turtles here. So for reading number 1, it's this green turtle. For reading number 2, it'll be the pink turtle. And for reading number 3, it'll be this little blue turtle. And yeah, just take a minute, pause the video if you need to kind of figure out which reading you feel has the messages for you. And the timestamps for these will be in the description and probably the comments too beneath the video, so you can just jump over to whichever one after you pick it. Anyway, let's get into the first reading. Whew, okay. So for the green turtle, the first reading, if that's the one that you chose, this is what's up next for you on the horizon. And I've got my regular playing cards, and I also have some tarot cards that we're going to be looking at. I'll start with playing cards, so let's see what's up, what is next, what's beyond the horizon for reading number 1, for our little green turtle. Okay. Oh, wow. So, okay, so a lot of you have been putting in a lot of effort into making a change, but it seems less of a, change to something new, coming around back to basics. Like some of you may feel like that you've lost something along the way and you're trying to regain it, and it looks like what's beyond the horizon is just that, you coming around or maybe discovering your inner self or something along those lines, especially if you've been maintaining some sort of spiritual practice or meditation routine. It looks like some breakthroughs. So I have time and energy that you've been putting in to something, and it looks like you've been giving it a lot, like your all. And this is kind of like home is where the heart is, and this is divine love. And so it looks like you have been really really connecting with your higher self or inner self or true being, or however you'd like to put it, because this is the Jack of Diamonds. I call this card the diva, but really it's like the star of the show, the person that is in control of this experience that they're going through, and at this point in time, like, is tired of taking shit, don't want to take no more. And this is that diamond in the rough. So this is something that you've been working on a long time, and you've been slowly polishing it over a period of time to make this change. So for a lot of you, it is just interpersonal things like battling those, personal demons that we all have. Some it's like depression or anxiety and these sorts of things, so that you can really shine. And I think what's probably been going on lately is we've all had a lot of time alone, and there hasn't been much to do. So if we've been alone with ourselves, we better get along, or there's a lot that we'd have to face and pay for if not. So many of you have been taking it slow and steady and being easy on yourself in terms of, not carrying baggage and personal guilt and these sorts of things, but also not letting yourself get away and squealing back to the comfort zone that keeps you from progressing or advancing or experiencing these higher pursuits and spiritual pursuits that I feel like a lot of y'all are drawn to, especially with this divine love card here. This is also soulmate, so next on the horizon you could be coming into people that really suit your fancy, and this is the alignment card. And I think that it's more to speak that you've been on the long and arduous road of getting rid of things that do not serve you, that slow purification that is polishing the stone from its rough state to its, more luminous state, and really feeling like you are in line with your purpose in life. Because now's the time, the world is extremely different in a matter of, 1 week to another. Just before March, things were oh so normal, and now things are oh so up in the air. People are locked away in their house, people are running out in the streets, there's so much going on. And at this point, I feel like a lot of now or never, I might as well, fully spiritually activate myself. I've been trying for a long time, but there's no reason for it to be on the back burner anymore. Wow, okay, so a lot of time and energy and effort, once again, has been put into this, and it looks like this is something you've been looking to do for a long time, and it's been mostly becoming I see a lot of more stable individual, whether it comes to, just emotionally, but also physically and financially, and there's been a lot of, whether or not you feel ready, it looks like buckling down and allowing things to take shape and change within your circumstances. And so on the horizon, these circumstances are changing. And for some of you, there could be a bit, just to take a romantic side note here, with this soulmate card, it's also what I think of as like spiritual and the divine love. But in love readings, this is soulmate, and this is a strong relationship. And this is someone watching you, so there honestly could be a person out there who's been keeping their eye on you, and who knows whether it's been from their day-to-day or you've remained contact with them, but you feel some sort of flirtatious energy off of them. I think this could be a sign that in the horizon there is someone who's going to go ahead and take the plunge and maybe even ask you out or confess feelings. I get a little bit of that energy here for some of you. So, but for the rest of you, when it comes to personal work and achieving goals on that front, it looks like a lot of people will admire you when they see you, and you might inspire other people to take on that self-discipline route that you have, because we all need this right now more than ever. The future is a touch uncertain, and one thing we can control is ourselves. And I think you, group one, definitely know that. Yeah, so, okay, first of all, these are doubts and fears and these sorts of things that hold us back. And we have to do our best to overcome these whenever they come up. And this is kind of like an emotional expansion, the same thing that we've been talking about this whole time, which is coming and centering yourself and seeing the light within and the light without, and really trying to see the positive in the darkness right now. And it looks like on the future, that is something that will still be consistent in your life. This growth, this emotional expansion, this is always unfolding, but I think the breakthroughs that a lot of you have been waiting for are coming not too far from now. And This is a divine grace card. It's like lucky and led by grace, and like the taking the hand of fate and being in line with what you believe that you're supposed to do, especially with this Two of Hearts, the alignment card. Everything feels synergistic and right. And so as you move forward, it looks like luck and the light of the grace of God is basically on your side. And you might be someone who, once again, like I was saying with this observer card, is that you might be someone that is inspiring to other people when they see you and the strides that you will have made, and being calm in the storm and that sort of thing. So once again, one of the biggest hindrances to us getting where we need to go is complacency, and that's this Nine of Spades right here, or it's complacency, which stops us from making a change for the good and can keep us making changes for the worse. And I think that you're fully, actually, Group 1, aware that this is something that happens so easily, and you keep it in the back of your mind, and you feel the push to avoid it, especially with this Divine Grace card. And a lot of this, speaking of like people seeing you, this is like online, so a lot of people could be watching the things that you've been up to online, or once again, this could be spending a lot of time on the internet and these sorts of things, which sometimes in spiritual pursuits we need to back away from a touch so that we can take more time within. And I think you are able to strike this balance. So once again, avoiding any time sinks and trying to fight off complacency and the feeling of, oh, well, maybe things won't ever change. You know, it's like when you're down in the lows, remember that you're only riding it for a moment and you'll be back up on that high wave, riding that higher vibe again. It's really whatever you can do to keep yourself in that higher state of consciousness and in that positive mindset. And this is the heart's desires. It looks like the things that you're doing right now you really enjoy, and even more so in the future when they begin to more fully take shape and manifest, that it will be something that comes from the heart and from a more pure place and from that inner divinity that we all have, and that I feel like most of you in pile 1 really understand. But once again, there is, you know, this feeling that we're always at the door. But remember, keep on knocking. Don't stop, and keep searching. And, you know, if you're adamant about it, you know, the door will eventually be answered and it will be opened. And then you just have to walk through. Let's lay some tarot on this just to see what's up. And yeah. Okay. But yeah, this is, oh wow, okay. I'm not doing reversals right now, but anything, if it just pops out of the deck, I will read it. Let's see. Wow. Oh, so yeah. So there's definitely some spiritual stuff going on here. I mean, first of all, we have the 2 major arcana cards, which are quite spiritual indeed. The Hanged Man, which is solace and getting more perspective on something and seeing things from a different angle that other people don't see it. And I feel like this for you, Group 1, and for a lot of you, is really what makes you stand out and what makes you inspiring to other people. I feel like there is an amount of you that no matter what is going on, you can still keep sight of your own spiritual goals and alignment, and have been taking strides, or at least making plans, you know, to take strides to act on this. And I believe that with this Knight of Rods, that Knight of Rods, and, you know, rods or wands, whatever you want to call them, is fire and action in doing something. And you've got on that armor and are ready to go into battle. And I think once you get there, you'll realize you don't really need that armor, because this fight isn't really that hard. But to quiet the mind and take that time, or, you know, to practice forgiveness and these sorts of things, just takes a minute and some getting used to and establishing a habit. But then that falls away. And once again, I have the Magician here, and that is, you know, a divine tinkerer. You guys have tried out many ideas. You've tried out all kinds of techniques, and like you can have a racing mind, because when it comes to the spirit, there's this little infinity sign is here to say that there's many, many possibilities here. And we also have the rose of passion and these lilies with purity. And I think that the intent here is really being purified, and that you really want to achieve this state where you are fully creating your own reality. And I would say that that is already what you're doing. It's something that we do by nature. It's sort of divinely imprinted upon us, but this is something that's really waking up for you. And I think in that time, all of these thoughts and things that you're trying in racing, you've been whittling away to find what works and how to best communicate that to yourself. And then by living, it communicates to others. And once again, this is kind of walking away from stale emotions and getting yourself free of depression, or once again, seeing things different from the normal crowd and going down a path alone to fully find yourself and discover what is possible, so that you can come back and be of even better service. Because I get here that, especially like with the diva card, it's, or, you know, the main character vibes, that you really do want to be a benefit. And I think on the whole and on the horizon, you keeping steady with this work and these unique perspectives will benefit us all. Because anytime we do good for ourselves, we do good for everyone. And anytime we do bad for ourselves, we do bad for everyone, and vice versa. Doing good for others does good for us. So it's just keeping ourselves with our head held high, and, you know, not responding in fear or shrinking into the darkness when times are hard. Once again, we have our armor on because things are scary until we have the experience. But through doing it and doing it and doing it, we refine it and refine it and refine it. And then, yeah, the reality is like Play-Doh in our hands. So on the horizon for a lot of you, I think the spiritual work that you're doing is going to pay off, and you're going to get those breakthroughs that some of you have been frustratingly waiting for. But once again, persevere. Anyhow, thank you for coming by. That's about it for the reading for pile 1. If you enjoyed it, you know, let me know. And yeah, peace. I'll see you in the next reading, hopefully. Okay. Pile number 2, reading number 2. Thank you for coming by. If you chose the little blue turtle, this is the reading for you. What's up next on the horizon? You never know what's coming in the future, but once again, the future is not exactly a real place. We only know the present. We remember the past, we expect the future, but we only know the present. And that means when the future arrives, it is only the present. So these are things that are coming on the horizon for us, and these are things that don't have to happen, or don't, oh my goodness, that don't have to take place, but can likely, and especially if you take correct steps, you know, we can ensure good things come. Anyway, today we want to know, you know, just what's around the corner. What should we expect in these uncertain times when it comes to our personal lives? Woo. All right, so yeah, let's just get going here. Okay, so what we're dealing with right now seems to be uncertainty and insecurity. Maybe you're having trouble at work or with getting a job, or, you know, worried about finances, but there's also like a emotional point here, that is being worried that you're able to make ends meet, or make a connection, or make something good come on the horizon. So your hope is definitely there that things are going to start looking up. But I think with so that this is that insecurity and instability card, and this is this Jack of Clubs I call the fair weather friend. Really what it is someone who a lot of the times it's us. So we are not able to deal with the hard times, but move or look and seek only the good times. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with seeking your bliss, but the thing is, it's just making sure that when things are rough, we don't resign ourselves to thinking that they cannot improve. So I feel like right now a lot of you are just, maybe even if it's not super serious, you know, you're not you know, you're not like so depressed you really think like it is over. You just feel like things that you had lined up or were planning on doing are just impossible right now, and it makes you feel, you know, a touch defeated. But on the horizon, it looks like things do improve here, and this situation that you're in causes you to grow emotionally, and this is a lot of new experiences for some of y'all, group 2. And it looks like you find something that really helps you deal with any issues that are coming up, whether that be an outlet as an art, or someone to talk to, or like a meditative practice. Something happens that, and maybe even happens out of necessity. You just grab something and it works, that gets your hope moving again, that things will start going in the right direction, because this is the cowboy card, and that's someone who is independent, who has experience, and is willing to keep going down the road even though things might get tough, and even takes like the fact that tough things are coming as a fact of life, but can handle it, and knows what to do. And when something happens that they don't know what to do, they're only happier because that helps them learn. And then this is sort of like an act of love. So you learn to love the chaos and love the environment that is so wild, that gives you a chance to grow and opportunities to make changes in your life and make changes to the world around you. Okay, so a lot of y'all right now are having a lot of brain fog. The thing is, maybe when if you're, you know, reading this and it's still 2020, when the world was starting to go crazy, when we had like, you know, this whole virus break things down that we were used to, and you know, all of the unrest in the world right now, it's kind of like blocked you or gives you this brain fog of like not knowing what's right or wrong or what to do, or just general uncertainty. And instead of feeling empowered and like breaking out, it's causing you to like retreat. And this I call the drunk, but it's the King of Hearts is just someone who experiences things with heightened emotion. So you're not thinking as much, as in these cards are saying you're having a lot of trouble like focusing on your art, on your projects, on society as a whole, or on your future in general. And it's because your feelings are going a little wild right now, and that is something that is to be overcome. And this card I call the dragon. So it's the thing that sits in front of, it's the obstacle between you and the thing that you want. And it looks like what you want is essentially love and security and stability and these sorts of things. And you just want to like live and work and express the truth and the light and things as you see it, and whether that be through your art or through your work or through whatever means, just like a sense of peace. And that is coming because, like I said, something happens and it looks like you're able to, and a lot of you may already have this thing as is now, some sort of muse that allows you to put in that effort, time, and energy and actually get good things out. And then these sorts of things help us when we have brain fog, because a muse brings us inspiration, whatever that might be, and that causes us to come back out of our shell and get new experiences, reinvigorate our passion, and these sort of things. So it looks like, you know, on that horizon, we've got some good things coming, but But it's just going to take a little work on your part, so this Jack of Hearts being the object of affection, or keeping your eye on the prize, um, on what you want to see happen. And also, this is a more inspirational environment. So right now, things might be hard, but in whatever way possible, finding that group of people that see things the way that you do. I feel like a lot of you are coming into a group of like-minded people that are really going to help and set things straight. Once again, solutions to our own inner work comes from within us, but inspiration from outside can cause that change. And this is a change of heart. So whatever it is, and this could just be an environment where you feel freer and more expressive, but this change of heart looks like it's coming pretty soon, that gives you a more like open experience again, and that lets you want to persevere and pursue whatever it is that you wanted to do. And because all of these things are still possible, the road is changing, and we still need to find the map, some of us, and that is what we're working on here. And then this is, the jokers are kind of like they're wild cards, but they're also dealers. They give you a hand, and you get to work with that hand in any way that you see fit. And so when you look at the world around you, examine like the tools and experiences that brought you to where you are to move to the result that you're looking for. Because there's always a way, and things can get bleak, but you don't have to look at the outside world and say, yes, I agree, this is how it has to be. Causing change is something that you are fully capable of. It's something that you're born able to do. And so sometimes you have to turn the other way from chaos, or go within and find that peace, find that map, find that inspiration that helps you move forward, and then you'll be ready and willing to do so. And so this card I call like the sharpshooter, but basically it's protection and being covered on the way. And this is the diamond in the rough, or the new experience. Taking something that you can tell is good and polishing it to perfection. So this is new mastery that we have here working on. So it looks like a little project or a little enterprise, or just something taken on that is maybe new to you, or hasn't been touched in a while, and just continuing where we left off. And then this 5 of spades is in action, so it looks like a lot of you might be a little like lethargic or lackadaisical, and once again due to the issues we were talking about in the beginning. But whatever muse you find, or reason you have to say no and keep yourself active, is what's keeping you covered here. And I think that this inaction card is just a reminder that now is not the time to do nothing. Now is the time to put all hands on deck and get things stable, so that you can rise up and be fully effective for the future. And pile 2, by golly, I believe that's what you're going to do. So here we have being torn apart, and this is coming together. So once again, when we go through tough times, they make us tired, and it can be quite frustrating, but it's just part of our spirit. And especially for y'all, pile 2, you never let it last too long before seeing the light and learning the lesson and using it to make you a fuller person, someone more capable of any situation, or capable of tackling any situation. And it looks like, yeah, what's coming on the horizon is you finding peace with the way things are, so that you can make plans with people or with yourself, and regroup with people that are like-minded, or just communicate with others in a way that you find effective, and to help you change and help create that change that you want to see in the world by being it around yourself and around others. And it all comes from whatever you're going through now being dealt with and persevered through, so that you come to that more sense of peace. And it looks like by your inspiration and work, be others will be attracted to that. And whether it's, whether this is just a new environment that you find more inspiring, or if it is like another group of people, whatever it is that will be manifesting itself around you or attracted to you just by you taking life head on. So let's take some tarot cards to see what's up. Just a little bit more depth. It's always fun just to pull something different, more than one oracle. Okay. Okay, so this card is that heartbreak card, or the feeling like you're out of options, or have lost some chances. And for a lot of you, it's looking back at the past and seeing connections or possibilities that seem to be yanked out from under you, like a rug or the tablecloth. And nostalgia like that is a trap, because like what I was saying at the very beginning is that the future and the past are not the present. And by focusing on them, we can wind up stagnating in the present. And I think that this heartbreak is coming from looking at the past, and there's something that you have to get beyond. And what I was saying is like finding whatever it is that it takes to help you move forward and be re-inspired and feel like you're willing to move on and start pursuing the things that you want again, because it looks like you've had several successes in the past and things have gone really well for you. But the thing is, just because things are hard right now doesn't mean you cannot get back to where you wanted to be or where you want to be, and then move forward with those goals. And so these rods here, this guy's got one in his hand and is ready to take action again. And so once you get to that point and you're ready to take action again, it looks like this guy surrounded by his 9 cups, being very pleased, and he looks even like, a little inebriated, but like at peace, and had success and back at it and in the game. And so what's on the horizon for you guys is, a little bit of self-work, but beyond that, it's getting back in the fray and on track to creating that life that you had been working on for so long that for some reason you're at a standstill on. But once again, it's not over. Let the past inspire you, but do not let it hold you back. So thank you so much for coming to the reading today, and I hope that y'all got something out of it. And if you enjoyed it, or if you have anything to say, let me know down below. And peace. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Reading number 3, or Pink Turtle. This reading is for y'all. Thank you for coming by today. And this is the general pick-a-card reading for what is coming on the horizon. What is manifesting right now into our futures? And, I always like to say that, the future, it's fun to look into, but once again, the present is the only true moment in time that we can understand and that we can experience. When the future gets to us and we're living in it, that means it is the present. So the past and the future are things that we have in memory or in hope, but not necessarily real things. So the future is something that we create, and we get to see. Oops, sorry, dropped some cards. We get to see as it comes, and even take an active part in creating it. So this is things on the horizon, just right now, with what's going on, and just to give us some guidance and clarity. So let's see what's up. Okay. One more card, why not? Okay, yeah, so dang. It looks like there's a lot of environment stuff here, as in like the people you surround yourself with, the place you live in, like the society at large, and work, and that sort of thing, and family going on here. All of these clubs have to do with that sort of stuff. And it looks like that is been a big part of your life and thought process right now. Maybe more involvement with family, more involvement in society and social issues. You know, I feel like for a lot of people that's definitely true right now, but family as well, and then work and other kinds of changes to our environment like that. But at the moment, this is trying to make all of these things good with your spirit, trying to be happy and calm in society and in family and in our place of dwelling, you know, where we live, in our cities and our towns, and seeing eye to eye and cooperating on these levels. And this is the card for change. So it's you know, finally speaking your mind to your family or to social change, or it could even be changing jobs, and all these things could be tied together. And right now, it looks like the core of these efforts are coming from the heart, from a long time of dwelling with your feelings. And what I see here mostly is there's not a lot of intellectualizing going on. You feel like that's been done, or that you do that enough. But right now, what's truly driving is your heart and your passion. I call this card the drunk, not not because necessarily you are drunk, or you are a drunk or anything like that, but because when we're inebriated, we feel things more strongly. We aren't thinking as much, but when we laugh hard. When we love hard. When we're sad or when we're mad, it really manifests itself extremely strongly, and that's kind of the energy of this card. And it looks like the work is going to pay off. I feel like a lot of you not only fully expect the work to pay off, but are even seeing it happen right now. And this is an inspiring environment. So this stuff is changing into somewhere that drives you to want to keep doing. And this is I think this is a large part of what's coming on the horizon, is that family, that work, that environment, that living space, wherever it is, that makes you want to keep going and create and do new things. And this Seven of Diamonds, I call this card the church, but basically what it is spiritual meets physical. This is your desire for what you want beginning to show itself and manifest in itself on earth, like in our physical plane. So whatever it is that you want to see, this work that you've been doing is coming, and it's on the horizon. And a lot of you put in a lot of time. And the thing is, for some of you, it's coming more slowly than you'd like, but it is coming. And we can feel like we want things to happen extremely quickly, but the thing is, know that the work that you're doing, even if it takes a little while and longer than you wanted, is still worth doing, and it's still making itself known to you and your environment, and as far-reaching as you've been considering. And yeah, this is, once again, this card also is job well done. So it's the general, the first card I pull, I use as kind of like the general vibe of the entire reading. And so this is a lot of work and time and effort and energy being paid off and actually manifesting itself, and job well done, group number 3. Okay. Yeah. So the Jack of Diamonds I call the diva, but really that card is, it's each one of us individually in our lives, when we know that we are the creator of our experience, and that there's no reason for us to not get what we want. And sometimes we don't want to work so strongly or closely with others because we're too busy focusing on ourselves. But the reminder here is we actually do have to live strongly. We do have to have our personal lives in order if we are going to be helping others and making things better and these sorts of things. And I feel like a lot of you doubt whether or not you're actually capable of pulling these sorts of things off. But I feel like the doubt is really just something that's been there a long time that you've been working on getting rid of. And A lot of you feel like you need to do more on this front and these things. And, I never want to stop and tell people that they don't need to work and better themselves at all times. But the thing is, I think you've been doing this really well, especially with this first row of cards here. I think any doubts or concerns that you have, keep them in the back of your mind, but don't let them stop you, because at any time, you have to be able to stand strong. You have to know your values, know your beliefs, and let them be shaky or wishy-washy. Be open to changing, but also, stand true to who you are. And in that case, you will be able to make strides. And this other, I just want to these two spade cards out of the way. I know we have a third one right here, but that's different. So this one is, in action. You could be feeling lazy or lethargic, or like things aren't moving. But once again, like I was saying, some of you feel like things aren't coming. They're just happening a little bit slowly, but they could pick up and take off at any time. And slow and steady quite often wins the race. And just because things are slow doesn't mean that, slow is not nothing. So it's taking the wins when you can, and not letting that stop you from keeping going or feeling like nothing is happening, or continue or give you doubts. Things change and take new directions, on a dime. And this is the battle ready king. He wears that suit of armor, and he's extremely intellectual. He's planning, he's getting ready, and is defending. So this could be being defensive, like you feel like people in your environment are extremely defensive and it's volatile or something, and you want to see this work out. You want to create that inspiring place that you need to be. And I think on the horizon, you're fully prepared for this, and we'll start to see things fall more in your favor. This is the ride or die friend, or the partner that is there with you through thick and thin, when things get bad, when things go well. This is part of that inspirational environment. So those people that have been close to you for a long time, the new people that you meet that are on the way, that you feel that you can align yourself with. And for a lot of you, that has to do with everything. These are your friends, these are your family, these are people, this is your environment as a whole. Creating it and keeping that the object of your affection and the reality you want to see within your grasp, and actually manifesting it into this physical plane. And it looks like for a lot of you, a lot of your strength comes from the support group around you, and a lot of the strength comes from your knowing who you are. And the small dents in the armor coming from a feeling of what's the point, or impatience and some doubts. But ultimately, you're able to overcome these, whether it is through practicing forgiveness or just keeping that sight in mind. These things aren't really stopping your horizons from being a true and bright sunrise. So, yeah, you've been watching others and sitting in the sidelines for quite a while, but it looks like coming up in the future, and maybe even at this current moment, a lot of you are just done with that and are not doing it anymore. And this is, starting to take action, physical inspiration, these sorts of things, creating the world and being in the world and acting the way you want to act, and just not backing down, really. And this is that change of heart that I see that you are able to cause in your environment for a lot of people, and renew potential in certain things, because a lot of us are going to see this as a mountain that is too high to climb, but we need to leave ourselves open to surprise, even from these elements of our social life and environment and family that we feel like are stuck. Even if you've been, reconnecting a lot and feeling like things aren't different, you never know what is possible through, faith, basically. So let's just put a couple more cards down. Yeah, boom. Okay, so this is a big transformation. This is going from this is a hard end to something and a new beginning. And then this Joker is like a new hand of cards. You're dealt a new hand. It's the next round. Let's see what happens. And this is social security. This is the people that are close to you in your family, in your life, in your work, and like a strong environment or a house with good foundations. And these sorts of things. This is everything that goes with you. And this is that new hand, and you got a lot more plays. So on the horizon right now, in the medium to short-term future, there's a lot of work and family and environment stabilizing and purifying and understanding going on that you are engaged with to really find out who is with you and willing to take on your journey to being who you want to be and living where you want to live and doing what you want to do. And then once that's done, it's on to the next phase, new hand of cards. And it looks like you're the kind of person, or a lot of you, at least in group 3, have kind of understand that and have always understood your connection to other people, and sometimes have been overindulgent in connecting with other people and not taking care of yourself. So it looks like there's a lot of independence being discovered, and that's kind of where this is coming from. It's like, okay, let me see what suits me and what doesn't suit me, and in a smart way, systematically changing the way you live and the world around you through whatever inspired actions you feel are necessary to take. So that's some cool stuff. I want to throw some tarot cards on here. I think it's always fun to just consult another deck. Okay, so beginning of the act. Drive. Nice. Okay. Wow. So, yeah. The Page of Swords is someone who is taking new ideas and concepts and trying them out. Someone who is new to a certain kind of battle or a certain way of doing things, but knows that they can do it and is full of potential. And so for y'all, group 3, I feel like there's a lot of potential that y'all have just been tapping into. And then on the horizon, that turns to like full-blown like course correction. Like what's up, where you're going, and now no one can stop you. This card I also think means that there's a lot of people that have their own direction and drive in the way that they're going, and if challenged can be super defensive or maybe inflammatory or explosive about it. And this is the kind of thing that I think most of you expect on the way, and just to like not let that scare you or discourage you, or to not burn any bridges that you have to burn, because once again we have this Queen of Cups here. She's surrounded by water. She really helps put those fires out. She understands the emotions of others and can see their perspective. It doesn't mean you have to be sucked in or transformed by them, but coexistence, I think, is the goal here. And it looks like a lot of you are going to be extremely successful, and there's some victories on the horizon. It looks like, especially with both of these cards being in this, in this intense seat moving forward. Clearly, one is ready for anything, and the other one has gone through things and has won. So these are taking the actions that lead you into that world that I think you so clearly see right now. And so this is really exciting. I think for y'all, group 3, this is an extremely bright set of events and circumstances that are being set up and are coming on the way. So, keep the faith, keep the light, and see that manifest, see that be brought in. And thank you so much for coming to this reading. That's all for right now, and there'll be more in the future. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for swinging by. Peace, and I hope to see you in the next one.